And welcome to the Assistance League Playhouse, everybody. Yay. So, this is it. You found it. Welcome. Congratulations. You are the few, the proud. My name is Drew. I am the house manager and technical director of this lovely space. Tonight we have Town Hall 2, I believe it is?
Yes.
Yes, it is, and I would like to introduce you to Ben, who knows everything. Absolutely.
Let's give it up for Drew in the Assistance League Playhouse. What a beautiful space, right? All right. Now, I've got some things to talk to you about on this iPad. You'd think I'd know because I've given this speech 8 times? This is the 8th year, right? No, it's the 9th year. Dave? Got it. Okay, no, this is my mark, dude. This is my mark. Okay, Dave has given me a very specific area for you guys at home. Okay, well, there you go. You feel the heat on your face. That's the key. Okay, guys. Here, we good? Yeah. All right. Now, lucky you guys, today I have a little bit of laryngitis, and we're in this giant, beautiful space. So, if any of you have any problem hearing me, I would suggest coming a little closer. If you, and don't worry about it, like, interrupting me. I like to see action in the house. It makes me feel loved. Okay, guys, agenda for today. We're going to talk about marketing your show. It's kind of a big deal because there's a lot of shows and you need to do your marketing and it's important and all of that. So we're going to talk about that. I'm going to burn through it as fast as I can. All the information. Feel free to take notes by whatever medium you like. Feel free to tweet on HFF18, Instagram, whatever you kids are doing right now. Have a good time, and if I do have any questions, there will be a Q&A session at the end. So try to hold on to it unless I say something so absolutely confusing and you look around and you see other people going like, wait, is that, then feel free to raise your hand. But otherwise, please wait until the end. Okay, so this session right here today is being recorded. And hi, everyone at home. I just want to say thanks for watching on youtube.com/Hollywood Fringe. And you are just as welcome here on stage as everyone else here. So let's give a big cheer for everyone at home to know that they're loved and you belong here. All right, fantastic. After this, we have a mixer at the Three Clubs Bar. The Three Clubs Bar isn't exactly next door, but it is worth the trip. It is on the corner of Santa Monica and Vine. It's a lovely place during Fringe. There's a whole lot going there. It's a great space. I suggest anyone who can go over there and mix it up a little bit and talk to your fellow Fringers. After all, fringing is about friendships, and friendships are made at these mixers. So please join us there. Let's do a quick round. So we are now at the point where most all of you should be registered. And if you're not, feel free to come up and talk to us and we'll help you. How many out there are HFF18 participants? Raise your hands. There's a lot of you. Now keep your hands up if you're a first timer. Not many people put their hands down. So good for all of you. Welcome. Now, if you are a venue, please raise your hand. Any venues? Oh, okay, there's one up there. Drew, do you want to, where do you come from?
I hail from a place called the Assistance League Playhouse.
And are you booking for HFF18?
Yes, we are.
Fantastic. And over here?
Hey, I'm Matthew Quinn. I'm booking Asylum. Right now we have space in the Cabin Theater and Finally Arts. If you're interested in either of those spaces, come check me out afterwards. I got some cards and stuff.
Check him out.
Make it happen.
Any other venues here today? I'm not seeing anybody. So, Matt books a lot. Drew books here. If you're still looking for a venue, feel free to walk up to them, have a conversation, see if there's a good match. So,
See how many people are looking.
hey, who's still looking for a venue, guys? Anyone?
All right, I'm out of here.
All right. So thank you, Matt. Thank you, Drew. Right here, we have some flyers from one of our sponsors, our promotional partners, the NoHo Arts District. They have some fancy deals for y'all. So after this is all done, or during, I don't care, come up and grab a flyer and get an idea of what they're all about. So great. So we're going to start now with the most exciting part of the town hall, which is me running down a few important dates for you. And the only reason I mention them is because these dates are actually important. So let's start with April 1st. Oh wait, that is the past. That was the registration deadline to be included in the guide. As I said, for those that might be watching at home, for all those out there that still have not registered but would like to, if you would still like to get in, you can talk to me, you can talk to Dave. Hi Dave, wave your hand back there. There's Dave. For those of you that, or you can email support@hollywoodfringe.com. Dave over there is the guy that answers all of your emails. So, right. So now you can put the face to the email signature, and he's right there. He's got a red cap in the back. So feel free to thank him for all the fantastic work he does on support. It's really quite vital to what we do. All right, that's April 1st. April 15th is your next date. April 15th is when the guide ads are due. Your guide ads are due. The guide is our printed documentation. It's our printed massive flyer. It's gotten pretty huge. Our booklet that goes all over the Fringe world during. What are you waving at, Dave?
Don't forget your intro.
What intro?
The folks here.
I'm doing that at the end.
Okay.
Jesus. Waving madly at me from the back. So April 15th is when the guide ads are due. It's a booklet. It's about that big. It's beautiful. We just had our design contest for it. There's fantastic artwork on the cover that we're all really happy about. Now, and as you may know, hopefully know, at this point, included in your registration, you get all the textual information, your dates, your times, a little blurb about your show, information on your performances, on and on. What you don't get, to keep prices down, what you don't get is an actual graphical full color image in the guide. That's what the guide ads are for. We try to break up the cost so you can still get in the door and sort of buffet your way after that. But if you have beautiful artwork, and I hope if you don't have it, it's something you're working on, because it really is a very important part of the process in marketing your show, is having that brand catching artwork that people can remember and people can see. Once you have that ready, you can use that to buy an ad in the guide. And I can tell you right now, guide ads are very, very cheap, and we're going to, especially for participants, and we're going to talk about that a little more soon. But like, burn that into your brain. April 15th is the deadline to get your beautiful graphical art into the guide. April 15th is also the guide lockdown date. Now, you'll be receiving many emails from us, and this is a big Fringe tip. Check your email. There are many different reasons to check your email. This is one of them. We're going to give you basically saying, here's what to check by April 15th to make sure that everything in the guide is accurate. It's important. You don't want to be the show that like picks up the guide when it drops and flipping through it, can't wait to see what, oh my God, that is not the title of my show. Or it's like you've like very embarrassing like typos in it, or God forbid your performance dates are wrong, or your prices are wrong, or anything like that. So we're gonna tell you what to check in an email that's coming. In the meantime, you can go to Hollywood Fringe side, you can go to your project page, which I hope all of you know what it is, and feel free to ask if you need help finding that. You can go to the admin tab, and then there is under that a link that says guide listing. And the guide listing link will give you a picture of exactly what your guide entry will look like. So please check that out. Make sure that that data is accurate. And if it's not, there's actually on the right side some instructions of what to do if something is wrong. When in doubt, contact support@hollywoodfringe.org. But know that April 15th is that important date to make sure that that's accurate. I would not wait until April 15th to check it though. Okay, swell. All right, moving on. April 21st at 2 p.m. at Studio Stage. we are workshop number 3, festival expectations. I think we all know by now, if it's just me on stage, it's a town hall. If it's a bunch of people that actually know what they're talking about because they've done Fringe before, I have not. If they've done Fringe shows before, that is a workshop. A great place to ask questions to a group of panelists that have actually done like at least 2 Fringes in the past, so they know the tips and the tricks. This workshop's all about festival expectations, what to expect. The closer to the Fringe, the closer the fear, right? So, because you think, oh God, I've got so much to do, how am I gonna sell tickets, da-da-da-da. These guys and ladies will help you sell tickets, put butts in seats, know what to expect as the Fringe approaches, what works, what doesn't, based on their personal professional experience. So that's definitely one to attend. May 1st, all tickets go on sale. Up until May 1st, 0 tickets are on sale. After May 1st, all tickets are on sale for all 300 and some shows that we're having in the Fringe this year. So like, you know, that's an important date. That's a date that you can publicize. We see a giant spike in ticket sale, obviously from 0 to something. But it's like, it goes, like the ticket sales like boom the first few days because people are in there and they start to snatch up tickets immediately. So like prepare yourself for May 1st. That's when you're really gonna start pushing your ticket sales. Wednesday, May 2nd at 8 p.m. at Sacred Fools Main Stage. That's on Santa Monica and Theater Row. Santa Monica Boulevard in Theater Row. Important, we're going to be talking about ticketing and festival prep. So it's a day after the tickets go on sale. You might have some questions about how our ticketing system works. This is a great time to come and ask those questions. And then it's Saturday, May 12th of 2018 at Studio C. This is one of my favorite workshops because these guys are just funny. This is how to tech your Fringe show. You might have teched a show in the past, but you probably have not teched a Fringe show in the past. And there are specifics about how this works because there is like 15 minutes to get in, to set up, 15 minutes to get out. That's sort of most venues' Fringe rules. So I would strongly suggest attending that workshop and asking these guys their questions. It's Corwin and Brandon, incredibly smart guys, done a lot of work, won a lot of awards, been with the Fringe since virtually the beginning, have teched a lot of Fringe shows. So they're there to answer your question. And then May 31st through June 5th is previews. We're going to talk a little bit about previews and how you can use them. But just so you know, this is, by the way, in our 9-year history. It's been a while. This is the first time we've actually had any Fringe shows happen in the month of May. Damn calendar. So, you know, May 31st is an important day for us because it's the first time Fringe has sort of eked into the May month. So May 31st through June 5th. Then we have June 6th is the opening night party. And we're going to be sending lots of information about that. It is the biggest theater event of the year in Los Angeles. It's huge, it's great, it's beautiful, it's a blast. All of your favorite friendship friends will be there. There will be drinking, there will be dancing, there will be fun, there will be merriment. And there will be no shows that day. We don't schedule on that day, so everyone can take a break and celebrate what's about to come. So you're all invited to the June 6th opening night party. And then June 7th through 24th is, you know, the Fringe Festival. I have written down here Fringe Festival 2016, which shows how much I copy and paste these notes sometimes. But no, it is Fringe Festival 2018, June 7th through the 24th. And on the 24th, we have the award ceremony and the closing night party, which is where we all say tearful goodbyes. So that is the dates as they come up. Now, a reminder, and I'll say this a few times because it's important. If you have registered and that's all you've done, that is not all you need to do. We are a find your own venue, bring your own venue festival. So if you have registered and not yet booked a venue, it's important for you guys too, you need to book a venue. And you can go to hollywoodfringe.org venues/venues. There are a ton of venues. There are still spaces available. There's a couple guys here you can talk to. You can call, you can email, you can visit. But it's very important that by April 15th, that everyone who has registered also needs to proactively book a venue. For those that have done things like the Chicago Fringe, the Minneapolis Fringe, it works different there. Basically, you get in, you get through a lottery or what have you, and you get assigned a venue. That is not the way it works here. We give you guys the ability to find your own venue that works for your show, broker your own deal with the venue, and then register with the festival. So if you have not yet booked a venue, please book a venue. So thank you. All right, let's get into marketing. We talked a little bit about the printed guide. For those of you who want to know what the guide looks like, it has looked like in the past, you can go to hollywoodfringe.org/guide. And if you want to get crazy, you can go guide_year. Guide_2010, 2011, 2012 to see a PDF of all the previous guides and how they looked. It's organized by category, so category matters. Category is that drop down when you create your project. You know, there's dance, physical, dance and physical theater, there's comedy, there's ensemble theater, solo theater. So like, take a look at those categories, make sure your category is descriptive of your show, because that's how you will be organized in the guide itself. Comedy section, ensemble theater section, immersive theater section, on and on and on. So take a look at that. And in the back, there's an index, there's a map, some instructions, some information on the fringe in the front, beautiful cover art on the front, it's sort of the branding of the festival itself. So take a look at the guide if you ever have any questions of how your listing will look and how the various beautiful guide ads of the past have looked. So check that out. The website. Almost all of the tickets for the Fringe Festival are sold through the website. And everyone who has registered has a unique page that they can market. And every page has a shortened URL to take you there. I believe this year it's hff18.org/your project number. And if you go to your project page, look in the little URL window, and the thing at the end of the URL, that number, it'll be hollywoodfringe.org/projects/a number. That is your project number. You can also find a link, conveniently, a shortened link in the bottom left part of the desktop version, meaning the non-mobile version of your project page. It'll be hff18.org/12345 depending what your number is. This is really helpful for things like Twitter, for things like postcards, flyers, because it doesn't take as much room as hollywoodfringe.org/projects/12345. Okay, so the website, make sure it's decked out, make sure it has images, make sure it has videos, make sure you have tagged your project accurately. This is the way people find things. This will be the home of where tickets are sold for your show. It'll also be the home of where people write reviews for your show. So an important page. It is your own page. It is the page that you want to market. For those of you that just want to put hollywoodfringe.org on your flyers, you're very generous, wonderful people. But you probably want to put a link to your show, assuming that's what you want to drive people to. So, fantastic. So we have the printed guide, we have the website. We have pole signs. Everyone knows what a pole sign is, and if you don't know, that's what it's called. You're driving up and down the streets of Los Angeles, and there's like sign, mostly for nonprofit artsy type things along the side of the road. It's the ultimate Los Angeles marketing, because it's for people who are stuck in traffic. We will have those going up in May. So you'll be able to drive around the streets of Los Angeles with your SO or a future SO or what have you, and you can say, hey, I'm in that festival, and you will feel like a badass. So keep that in mind when you're walking, or you watch those. They'll be going up in May. Beautiful pole signs all along the streets of LA. So enjoy. Social media. We do a lot of social media. You do a lot of social media. When we started this thing 9 months ago, it was like, whoa, social media, it's really cool. Now it's like, yeah, you need to do social media, right? So Facebook, Twitter, Snap, Instagram, on and on and on. If you guys, I'm imagining most of the people in the room understand how, Twitter works. If you don't, ask the person next to you. They will tell you how. But in any case, on Twitter, on Instagram, #HFF18 is where the community rallies around. There's a shocking amount of posts year by year on hashtag HFF year. So make sure to join the community. We also have our Twitter chats, which hopefully everyone knows about and is participating in, as a way to introduce each other. It's all a part of building this sort of sense of community. And the sense of community is great. It's warm, it's fuzzy. You meet friends, people with fellow loves and fellow interests. But it's also an amazing way to get butts in seats. It's a great place to start. You start with the Fringe community, then you get a little buzz going on, and then it starts to blow up. I've seen it over the course of 9 years. Like, it starts with just working with your community, your friends, your family, as well as the people that you see in mixers and events like this, the people you meet at office hours, the people that you meet on Twitter chats, on, and that community builds. And that's ultimately how you get kind of your base of ticket sales. So you're all doing a great job being here. You're going to be a great job going to the mixer after this. This is where it starts, and knowing people. And for those of you, has anyone gone to office hours yet? There's been exactly one. All right. There was like 100 people there for the first one, which is a record. Now by the end, we were like, broke 200 last year plus. Yeah. I can't see you, by the way, Dave. You have to speak. like in the hundreds by the end of last year. So it's turned into this fantastic weekly parties at bar spots around Hollywood. So definitely recommend keep going to those. That's like a precursor to the scene at Fringe Central, which is every day during the festival proper, which is a blast. That's where the community comes from. That's where the friendships come from. So enjoy. We do radio through KCRW as well. Again, drive time marketing strategies. What do people listen to? What are people looking at? So if you listen to KCRW, starting in June, you should start hearing some of our spots. It's going to be pretty exciting stuff. And we also have several partners that we work with to sort of push the word out there to their bases. We do ad exchanges. This is how we market the festival on the broader side. And as opportunities come up, we build on those opportunities. We figure out how we can get the word out about the Fringe. So fantastic. That's how we market it. But fundamentally, the original and future marketing strategy of the Fringe is it's all of us, right? That's the nice thing about it. This is why this works, is because we do our marketing. We have a pretty big marketing budget, as much as we can. Then each of you guys do your marketing. And every time you do your marketing, you're bringing people into the Fringe too, right? So it's like they're going to show up, they're going to come to a venue like this one, Assistance League Playhouse. They're going to see there's a larger festival going on. They're going to pick up a guide. They're going to bookmark the website. They're going to look through the other things, and they're going to go to other people's shows. So the whole point here is not just to bring people in to see your show. It's for you to bring people in to see your show, so they'll see it's a festival and they'll go to your show, and vice versa. And then that's how our base grows year over year over year. This is how we sell more tickets year after year after year after year. And not just more tickets, but more tickets per show, more sellouts. This is how it works, the sort of group crowdsourced marketing. That's the real fundamental marketing plan of the Fringe. So which is why it's so important to us to help you with tools to market your show. And you'll be getting some today. You'll be getting some at the next workshops. And use them, leverage them. They're incredibly important because we want to get as many people in as possible. Super fantastic. Couple words about Fringe Guide ads. We've talked a little bit about them. Here's some details. Due April 15th. We talked about that. Heavily discounted for you guys. Make sure you are logged into the site under the account you used to create your project because you will see basically half price ads. And then go to hollywoodfringe.org/market, M-A-R-K-E-T, and that's where online ads as well as printed ads are loaded. So check them out, and most importantly, and this is for Dave, who puts together the guide ads, check your dimensions. Yes.
Yes. Did you have something to say, Dave?
What?
People are talking?
People are talking?
People who come up and pitch their thing, get their kids here.
Oh, their kid is here.
get them
So
up.
they need to come up.
Yeah, they need to come up.
I have a kid, Dave.
I know.
I know, and I understand that kids have bedtimes. Let me just finish this section. So yeah, go to hollywoodfringe.org/market, check the dimensions that are listed there. Because and for those that don't understand what dimensions are, I'm sorry, I'm talking, okay, it's basically, this is how long it is, and this is how high it is, right? The width and the height. Check those. Check to make sure it's using the right type of coloring. Check to make sure you're giving us the right type of file. When in doubt, ask your arty visual designer friend. It's really important because you submit your ad on April 15th, and Dave writes back and says, this is like a triangle you've given me, and this is not going to work out. So make sure you check those when you're working, with Photoshop yourself. You're working with your snazzy visual artist. Yeah, make sure that they have that. Make sure they know that the file types that are needed. So because they have a kid and they need to go, I'd like to invite someone on stage. Richard and Lisa Pollock, if you lads would like to come on stage, they have something to talk to us about. So here we go. Let's hear it up for them. Hey guys.
Thank you.
All yours.
Appreciate it. Hi, welcome everyone. Thank you for having us here. I'm Lisa Pollock, my husband Richard, and this is the kid we have to put to bed. Have it. And we are launching VR Home TV with the Hollywood Fringe Festival. So we are offering an opportunity for you to get involved, and I'm going to ask my husband to continue and share a little more.
Yeah, it's a means for you to market. It's a means for your Aunt Sylvia and Uncle Saul in Far Rockaway to see the show afterwards, right, who can't get here. There's no cost for those shows that are selected. There's certain shows will benefit from this greatly. As you can imagine, seeing your show this close on the stage with a camera here or there, quite exciting. Matt Quinn, we're going to do 2 shows for Matt, and Matt's getting involved with us. If there's any questions, happy to answer them. Like I said, no cost. When it's broadcast and the actual network launches, it's going to be a free service to begin with, and then we'll be charging for it. And then there'll be a percentage going back, royalties to whatever we collect on behalf of you. So if your show does go viral, you can make an awful lot of money at some point. It's not necessarily the purpose of it now, it's just to get it launched. That's what we're doing.
So we're going to leave information in the back.
Yeah, that's the front.
The front back, the back of where you are. And if you want to get a hold of us, there'll be information on how to contact us for more information. So thank you for your time.
And I hope you enjoy your VR home TV experience.
Great, Ben. Thank you.
Thank you, Dave.
Exciting. Okay, VR comes to the Fringe Festival. All right, guys. We talked about print ads. Let's talk really briefly about online ads. So we get a couple million hits every year on the Hollywood Fringe site. A lot of people are coming onto the Fringe site, hollywoodfringe.org, to learn about what's going on. So we provided another very inexpensive opportunity to bring you guys, much like the print ads. What I love about our print ads in the guide is that it's mostly Fringe shows. It's like we don't have ads for like Jeff's toilet paper cream or something like that. Like we don't have that. It's mostly for you guys. When you go to the Fringe site, most of the ads are from you guys. So it's actually pretty relevant and fantastic, and people do click through. And even if they don't click through, like the secret about online ads, right, is like not a lot of people click on them. But the impression that they get, that's one of those things like we talk about, like depending on the number you talk about, like you need to make 7 impressions before you make a sale, right? The more places, free and paid, that you can find to get eyes on your brand and information on your show, the better. Like, for example, we have close to 400 shows every year, right? And I obviously can't name them all. But there are some every year that I can name because I keep seeing them around. I see them on the website, I see them in the guide, I see their flyers and venues and in Fringe Central. Like, I see them on Twitter, I see them on Facebook, I see them on Instagram, like as I'm checking things. Like, it's important to get your brand out there, and the online ad system we have on the website, that is one place to do it. They're very inexpensive, they're sold by the impression, so okay, here's the difference. An impression is one pair of eyes sees your ad on a web page somewhere on the website. Now you can buy 5,000 impressions. If your Aunt Lou, interesting name, goes to the website, sees your ad, that's down one impression. Right now you have 4,999. That's how an impression works. So you make one impression on one pair of eyes visiting the website. So you can buy packs of impressions basically, and you can refill those impressions as they go through. Check it out, hollywoodfringe.org/market. They're on sale there too. You can buy them all through the Fringe whenever you want to, and you can immediately disable them too. You can click the active box to turn them off, and what that does, it basically gives you the control of when those ads start running, right? Now, my suggestion would be to not start running online ads until May 1st. And the reason I say, if you think about it, around May 1st, a lot of people are coming in and buying Fringe ads. So there's a lot of impressions in the system, which means that your run will last a little longer. If you were to say, start your ad now, where there might be 4 ads that are currently active, it's great because you're going to be blanketing the website for a few days, but those impressions are going to go fast. So think about the timing that you want to run your ads. So for example, if your first show is on June 9th or something like that, maybe you don't start running your ads until June 3rd. And that gives you like a solid part of a week leading up to it. It's completely up to you. There are different strategies. If you have any questions about how online ads work, feel free to ask me after this. Feel free to email support@hollywoodfringe.org. And again, you can buy these print ads, which are due on April 15th, and online ads, which have no due date, at hollywoodfringe.org/market. And we try to keep the cost very low. Okay, let's talk about flyers. We're making good progress. We're going to get to the Q&A in a second. Flyers. In the first year, we said flyering is fringing, and it still is. Like, having that awesome business card that you can go like, boom, and hand someone, that's kind of how a lot of retail marketing is done in the Fringe right now. So the flyers are very, very inexpensive to make, and when our participant packet comes out, which will be within the next week, we'll have deals in there for getting cheap printing for your flyers. The participant packet, for those who don't know, is sort of our booklet that within the first couple weeks of April, we produce and send out to all of you that's registered. In there, there's information about how to Fringe, what is Fringe, tips and tricks, as well as a listing of all the various deals that we've brokered for you guys. And one of those deals, you will all receive big ass email when it's ready, when the participant packet is ready. So like, keep your eyes open for that, pour through it, questions, ask support. And as I said, in there is ways to produce flyers cheaply with the partners that we've worked with year over year and we know them very well. Okay, so some tips on flyers besides create one. That's the first one. The second one is be creative. Again, close to 400 shows, right? That means close to 400 flyers. So, like ye old standard postcard size flyer, that works for most people. The key in that case is to have that art that really brings the people in. So when they're looking at flyer tables, they're going like, oh yeah, what's that? And they grab that and they put it in their pocket, or they sort of register it, right? And that is the sort of marketing that you want. You want your art to bring people in. It turns out to be very, very important. Make sure it's legible. When Dave and I produced our first show in Washington, D.C., we put together a very attractive flyer that had white text on a gray background. And you're like, what? I will never do that again. I'd also strongly recommend against white text on a black background. Also not very good. Try not to sacrifice creativity, But all the same, legibility is one of the more important things about your flyers. And speaking of creativity, it's like we had a magician. This is an example. We had a magician who's done some work for us. In one year, he does card tricks. His flyer was the shape of a card. So the shape and the form factor of the flyer also spoke to what the show was. We had one guy who had a show that took place in a bar. His flyer was a drink coaster, right? And that's sort of like, oh, that's cool. Oh, you're the drink coaster guy. Tip about fringe marketing. You're the blankety blank show. Because it's an easy shorthand for people. Oh yeah, you're the zombie clown show, sure. Stuff like that, you know? So it's one way that you can give that little hook into your show to separate it from the masses, right? Like in my ideal world, we have 400 shows, each with their own completely unique hook to bring people in and to find the audience, the demographic that will most want to see their show, right? And that's what marketing's all about. It's about finding your people. It's about finding the people that you know are going to enjoy your show. And that is an interesting thought exercise, right? Are your shows, are your people, your patrons, the type of people who hang out in comic book stores? Maybe you should market in comic book stores. Like, for example, are they people who hang out in bars? Or are they people that have kids, you know? And like put these together and find out where these people like learn about things. That's what marketing is. And it doesn't need to be expensive, right? You can do it inexpensively if you're clever. You can do it free if you're clever, right? So it's about finding the people that want to see your shows and trying to connect with them. So it's great. But we're talking about flyers. Pardon me, I tend to go out on the thing. Let's talk a little bit more about flyers. Include the what, the why, and the where. What is the show, why you should see it, and where is it, right? Like, think about that when you're putting it together. The what, the why, and the where. Use quality cardstock. Do not, seriously guys, can we all make an agreement? We're not gonna make our own flyers. I know you can make your own flyers. We have printers, and you can create them on an 8.5 by 11 sheet and cut them. Let's just not. Trust me, you can tell the difference between a homemade flyer and a flyer that is professionally produced by a printer. And here's another thing. This is on my list of pet peeves. Guys, 2 sides. It's like $5 extra. I mean, depending on how much more you get. 2 sides. If you have a flyer that's just a picture with the performance information on nothing on the other side, that is wasted space, and it's worth the extra few bucks to do it 2-sided. So 2 sides. Here's some flyering etiquette for you. This is a big fringe no-no. We don't have a lot of them, fringe no-nos, being a fringe festival. But one big no-no we have is do not put a stack of flyers on top of other shows' flyers. Right? So you go to the flyer table, you have your stack of cards, you're like, what? Douchebag. Boom. And like, you walk away. Don't do that. Like, seriously, if anyone on the fringe staff sees that, we will summarily recycle them. We will file them in the recycling bin. So please don't do that. That's a big thing. Here's another thing. This is based on a real year 1 story. Don't stand up at like curtain call, yay! Everyone starts to grab their coats. Don't then stand up and say, ladies and gentlemen, if you like this show, I have a show too. Here are my flyers. Don't do that. I mean, I shouldn't need to tell people, but I feel if I don't, that this will happen again. Some people think it's cool to flyer outside venues as shows are letting out. It could be cool. Like my suggestion, talk to the venue first. I think that is basic etiquette. If you're gonna flyer outside a venue, especially outside a venue as crowds are coming out, which look, is a great strategy because you're gonna see people, you know, that go to fringe shows there. But check with the venue. As a basic act of etiquette, when like you respect people's houses, right? When you're in Fringe Central, you respect Fringe Central. When you're in any of the asylum venues, or if you're in the Assistant League Playhouse, you respect their house. It's part of what we do at Fringe. We respect people, we respect venues, we respect each other, right? So if there's ever a question, and if you want to drop flyers at a venue, walk into the venue office and ask if it's okay. Because some venues, all venues have limited space because of the whole space-time fixed thing. So it's like, and some of them only have space for the shows at that venue. Some will allow flyers from across the Fringe. Some will allow flyers from across the world, right? At Fringe Central, if you have a Fringe show, you are welcome to drop flyers. We have space for posters as well. So if you want to create posters, then you can do that, and we'll have a space for it up at Fringe Central. But if you're at a venue like this one, ask the venue staff first before coming in and dropping your flyers, because those flyers might get recycled as well, and these things cost money. No one wants you to waste your money. Okay. And here's another one from our friends in the outreach department that are running our office hours. It is not okay. It is not okay to leave postcards out on tables at bars that are hosting office hours. Clever, we're making fantastic, for those of you who have not produced, I love that we're making fantastic, aggressive marketing producers out of some of you that haven't had the experience in the past. And you're thinking, are they flyers? I'm going to put them on every table and on every bar. Same thing. Ask. But as a general rule, at office hours, these bars do not want you to put like flyers all over the place. So please respect the bar's wishes that are providing these spaces for us to meet and congregate, create friendships and community. Don't use their tables and bars to drop your flyers. Okay, we're going to move on to educational events, workshops. A couple years ago, we implemented a new policy that as a new show type, a new registration type called workshops. Workshops are not how some of us theater people think workshops are. It's a workshop production. That means like nobody knows their lines and they're not actually wearing costumes. We don't have any lighting. It's a workshop production. It's a workshop production. It's like, that's not what we mean when we say workshops here. What we mean are educational events that have some sort of educational merit that usually involve one or more people on some form of stage providing knowledge and education to people not on stage, or obviously inviting them on stage or whatever. Now, if you have registered a show, which I think most of you have, because you raised your hands and are not liars, then you can also register a free workshop. And you can charge money for it as an additional way to make money. You get one free workshop. Granted, you do need to find a venue for the workshop, right? So that's the catch. But you're not paying any registration fee to the Fringe organization that ends up going into how we pay for operations and marketing and stuff like that. If you have something to teach, then this is a great way to spread your knowledge, which is generous, of course, and if you so choose, earn a little extra money and do a little extra promotion for your show. You register a workshop just like you register anything else, just at the last stage, rather than choosing paid multiple performance show or what have you, you say workshop. Specifically, register. What's the name of the registration type specifically for?
It's like,
What?
it's like workshop
Dash.
class, and it says
Participant.
So
Right.
it's the one that's $0.
It's the one that's $0. You'll probably find it. It's that one. So yes, it's a great thing. So yeah, encourage you to do that if you so like. Let's talk briefly about press. Theater press is a complicated subject in this town. It's very different from the 10 years or so that we started planning this thing. A lot of the big press outlets that were out and about and reviewing shows back then no longer really exist, or they exist in whatever form you call the LA Weekly now. It's not the same. But there are a lot of blogger types out there. There are a lot of fantastic websites like, say, Stage Raw or Better Lemons or shows like that do aggregate reviewing, that do a bunch of reviewers that might see your show and write a review on it. And then there's, as I said, tons of bloggers out there with greater or smaller audiences that want to come see your show. We welcome them. We do have a process by which press are certified and credentialed. And basically, they need to show us the site, part of their work, how many shows, what types of shows they want to cover. We do a press office as a review, and we certify them. And the big thing about being a press is that they get to request through the site, through the system, free tickets from you guys. Request. You do not need to grant them. And we wanted to make it as simple as possible. So here's how the process works. If I'm a press person, I see on your project page a link that you guys don't see, which is called Request Press Tickets. At which point, I can request a few tickets to a specific performance of yours. Okay, once that is done, you will receive an email. Okay, if you're a primary producer on a show, you will receive an email. This goes back to the initial rule. Check your email before and during Fringe, because you never know. The New York Times, you never know. The New York Times might be out. Want to do a front page story on your show, okay? You don't want to be the project, the show that misses that boat, right? So you'll get an email saying, congratulations, so-and-so from the New York Times wants to review your show. At which point we've made it really easy for you. We give you a link, you click that link, and it opens up, some of you might have noticed if you register that you can create complimentary tickets on the website for people that you just want to comp tickets to, right? It opens up a comp ticket form with everything all filled out for you. The name of the person from the press, the performance that they want free tickets to, and the number of tickets they want. All you need to do is click save, create, basically. And an email will go straight to the press saying your tickets have been approved. Their name will be on your will call, and it will say press on the will call, so you know that they're a press person when you're reviewing your will call sheets, right? It is etiquette in the press world not to, well, really, they should be requesting one ticket, but sometimes they request two. Anything beyond that is kind of, I don't know, abuse of that. But it's up to you. If Joe Jackson of the New York Times wants 5 tickets to your show to bring his entire family to see your show, it is up to you whether you want to grant them 5 tickets. But the normal amount is 1, and there's a couple 2s, so it's up to you guys. It's entirely up to you. We also have a system to produce press releases, and that is on, first of all, if you don't know how to create a press release, it's easy. Google press release. You will see a quadrillion of them. There is a way to draft a press release, and there's a million ways not to. Don't be creative. Like a lot of these guys get press release, like millions a day, right? Like not millions, you get a ton. And they have a way of expecting press releases to look like, as a format. I wouldn't suggest straying from that format, right? And here's the thing, if you have a list, which hopefully everyone's starting to build, a list of, a press list of people to shoot these out to, do not include your press release as an attachment, like a PDF or a Word doc or something like that. Hint, they won't open them. They will not open your attachments. You always want to put your press release in line with the email. So like a regular email. Least work possible to read your press release. We also give you a place to post your press release on the Fringe site. So if you go to your project page, you'll notice a tab called Press. And under that, there's a button called Add Press Release. And whenever you produce a press release, you can add it there. And then, if you go to hollywoodfringe.org/press, that is the hub for people in the press to like learn about shows. There is like blog style press release that they can filter as they will. A lot of reviewers will not see a show that doesn't have a press release because it means they're kind of not serious about working with the press. So if you are serious about attracting press, and look, you might not want to. You might think, I just want to put the show on its feet. I want people to see it. I do not need to expose my show to the press quite yet. It's not ready. Or I want to do this, and after the Fringe, we're going to launch a fully mounted show with 4 weeks of performances, and that's when I want to invite press. If you do want to invite press, create a press release, start developing that press list of people you can blast to, and add those press releases to the website. And then you'll see it at hollywoodfringe.org/press, and so will they. So will the press. Create a press strategy. Again, this goes back to this whole concept of what is marketing. And marketing is finding your people, right? And generally, in this sort of like, I don't know, in this world, like I read specific blogs, right? I read specific papers. Like, not everyone might read Inverse or Gizmodo. I do. Like, or TechCrunch. I do, because I'm interested in news on the tech world. There are theater-related blogs. There are blogs about zombies, depending on what the subject matter of your show is. Find these blogs, find out the email address of the editor, and add them to your press list. And then you can use a tool like MailChimp, for those of you who knows it. Never given me any money. I mention them every year. MailChimp, which is like an e-newsletter system that you can make beautiful HTML emails to send out to your list of patrons that you're going to be building over time, and your list of press that you're going to be building over time, right? And add them all to that and grow it and grow it and grow it. So like find out where people read news that are the people that you want to attract. And scour the internet, spend a few hours and just like figuring out like, and what I like to do, I'm on a tangent. Here's what I like to do when I'm marketing. And I create user profiles. Right? This is like B school one-on-one, right? It's like, Joe is a tennis player who likes to eat pasta. On the weekends, he likes to go and walks in the park and holding his love's hand while looking at fountains. He likes to drive Cadillacs, and when there are no Cadillacs, he likes to Uber, something like that. Write actual profiles of them. He's very interested in zombies and clowns and Star Wars, stuff like that. And like create different profiles of the people you're trying to match, right? Do that first. It's a good little exercise. It won't take you long, and you might discover something about your show. Like, oh, I bet people who like this would like my show. Create a profile for them. That's Jane, and Jane's little story, her origin story and whatnot. And then spend some time on each profile and saying like, where does this person read their news? Where does this person shop? Da 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 da. Do this for each profile. Boom, you've got a marketing plan. That's really all you need to do. Once you've done that, you have done 90% more than any show does in theater, period. And you are way ahead of the game. And it will help you define your marketing strategy and your press strategy. So think about that. It's fine to send a press release and to send a personal email to the press and say, hey, Jeff, I really like your blog. I just sent you a press release of what I'm trying to do. I feel as though that your readers would really like this, and here's why. I'd really like to invite you to come see the show, offer you a couple of comp tickets, and I hope you really enjoy it. Feel free to ask me any questions. Like, we're really here to like please the people that read your stuff. Do that once. Don't do it again. Don't spam them. Jeff, what the hell, man? I thought we were friends. Like, don't do that. Don't continue to spam them. There's an article on our support portal. That's support.hollywoodfringe.org. So support.hollywoodfringe.org. And look for an article there called Press Awareness. We've done you a little favor. We have listed all the press outlets that generally we know of cover theater in Los Angeles. So check that out. It'll give you the sort of the intro to creating that press list if you don't already have one. And key, we do not give out emails because that's a jerk thing to do. But seriously, all you need to do really is go to the site. Somewhere on that site there will be editor at the name of the periodical, the blog, what have you. Add that to your press list, right? You do have to do a little homework, and that's all you need to do. But we give you, at that press awareness article on support.hollywoodfringe.org, like that, we give you a few great places to start there. So fantastic. And then, if you so choose, create press packets. A press packet is something that impresses people. It is like if a press comes in, you give them a folder, preferably some sort of branded folder with some of your press releases, information on your subject matter, contact list, history of the production. If you want to be really fancy and impress people, press packets are a good way to do it, right? We do it for the Fringe. Some people do it in their Fringe productions. It's an extra level of professionalism. So when you have your will call sheet and Joe Jackson shows up and you're like, oh, press, here you go. Give them that press packet. It says something about your level of professionalism. So it's an idea. Even though we're a festival with a whole bunch of people, some of whom are doing their first producing gig, which is great. We want you here. We want there to be more producers in Los Angeles and the world, right? People doing theater. So it's like it's a real great thing. I think more than anything, what we're proud of is producing producers, right? It's a really important thing. I was going somewhere with this, and I forget where it was. Dave, what was I talking about? Press packet. Right. Yeah, make a press packet. I fucking forget where I was going. But anyway, it was more important. The producing producers line was more important. Okay, that's about press. As people have questions about press, people to ask in the end, you can contact our press office, press@hollywoodfringe.org. You can ask questions, support@hollywoodfringe.org. We're here to help you. We love you, etc. Okay, networking. Let's talk about networking. Networking is so important in a festival like this. It's so important. Here's the thing I tell people. It's like if you're doing a one-person show and you just hate people, and that's okay. No judgments. Hate people. It's fine. You might not be the best networker though. It's just a thought because it is like you know that line, unless you love everyone, you can't sell anybody, right? And part of producing is selling, right? And that's kind of what we're doing here. We're selling. We're selling in the idea of how great our show is, and you got to come see our show. So if you are a misanthrope and you're in a one-person show, my suggestion to you: get a producer who's not. And send that producer to mixers and office hours and parties in Fringe Central to meet people and to talk to people about your show. And here's the thing, we're a Fringe festival. Not all of us have the greatest social graces in the world, and you're welcome too. That's the nice thing about Fringe festivals is we're all a little fucking weird. So it's so fine. It's don't think that just because you're a little socially awkward, or you've been called weird or geek or nerd all of your life, you're welcome here, freaks. It is so don't feel that that's going to be an impediment, to your networking. People think, oh, the weird guy, yeah, that guy. I haven't seen his show yet, but I want to. It works. Make it a thing. It's your own personal brand, right? So think about that. Don't feel that just because you're a little strange, you're kind of socially awkward, that you can't participate in networking here, right? Maybe it can or something, it'd be a little bizarre, but here it's fine. You're good. So be a part of the community. Make friendships, right? Do it. Go out and do this. As we said before, this is how you sell tickets. This is how you meet producing partners. This is how you do the next show. By meeting people. It's like the coffee houses in Paris, like back in the day. It's this is where people met, where people spoke, where people got to know each other and eventually created great works. It's through this process. So Fringe Central is kind of your coffee house, right? It's where people meet. It's like a clubhouse, and it's a great place to go to network. No, we're not ready to announce where Fringe Central is this year yet, but that will come. Fringe Central will also be the home of the opening night party. So when you're at the opening night party, that's Fringe Central. It'll be open, not during previews. So at the end of previews, we have the opening night party. That's the first day that Fringe Central is open. And then we're open throughout the whole Fringe, right? So you're always welcome there. You can come there, run your lines, come there, have a beer, come there, talk to someone, have a meeting. You can bring people after your show. You can invite your audience to come by and say we're having a little party. Over at Fringe Central, you're all welcome to come and celebrate the show that has happened. You can bring your cast there. You can go crazy. You can have a good time. It's there for you. Trust me. Believe me. We're networking. Leverage existing base. So friends, coworkers, family. That's a great place to start. So you have your actual social base, right? That's a start. Then you have your Fringe base. You've added onto it. Once you've done this, you're putting the building blocks together for creating a broad base, which is just people. The first time that someone comes into your house and you have no idea who the hell they are or where they heard about your show, you'll it's a good feeling. It's just like, somehow they heard about my show. And then in your last performance, if you've done your shit right, and you look out, you don't recognize anybody. And you're like, you've succeeded. And you're like, I can do this. It's a big deal. So think about it that way. It's a building block. Like as you go through Fringe, if only 5 people come to your previews, don't freak out, right? Keep building, because you never know who one of those 5 people could be. For those of you who like Malcolm Gladwell out there, there's a book called The Tipping Point. And in The Tipping Point, which is like the anatomy of a phenomenon. What creates a phenomenon? Why did Doc Martens suddenly become so huge, right? Stuff like that. And he sort of like goes through it and breaks it down. And it's part of it is about certain types of people are key ingredients to a phenomenon. For example, you have the maven type. And the maven type is the person who just knows everything. They don't know everyone, but they know everything about a certain thing. So it's like you'll have the magic mavens at the Fringe. And the thing about mavens is that people know to go ask them. Yeah, say, hey, what's good at the Fringe this year? And the maven will be like, well, I like this show and this show. I'm definitely going to see this show. I've heard good things about this show. And the people will be like, and then that's just the tickets they'll buy, right? Because no one's going to buy tickets for 400 shows. People need to make decisions. It's like acting. You need to make decisions. People need to make decisions, right? These mavens are the people that help them make those decisions. So try to find out who the mavens are. You'll know because they're the people who sort of sit and everyone stands around them at like office hours. Like those people, right? And there's another type of important person, connectors. They're just the people who know everyone. The Fringe has been around for 9 years. There are people who have been doing Fringe for 9 years. They are, unshockingly, some of the people who win a lot of the awards because they attract the most people in the Fringe community to come see their shows. They know a thing or two. They know how to work the system, and they know people. And if a connector comes to your show and sits down and likes it, then the connector is going to go to all of their Fringe friends and say, did you see this? Did you see this? Because it's kind of like having a stock tip, right? It is like, I happen to know this show. Nobody knows about this right now, but it's going to blow up. All the tickets are going to sell out. I would suggest you get them now because it is fucking brilliant. Like, that happens. Find out who the connectors are. You know the connectors at like office hours? Because they're the little butterflies that are going around and seem to know everybody. I think everyone who's not a connector in this room probably knows connectors in their social circles. And you think, how did I meet Jeff? Oh, through Ann. How did I meet Sue? Oh, through Ann. And it's like the connectors, the people that collect people, basically, right? God bless them. But like, these are the people that you want in your audience on previews. You want the connectors, you want the mavens. Use office hours and mixers and events like this to figure out who those people are. And then seduce them in the non-sexual way. Like seduce them into come seeing your show. Like get them interested in your show. Be, genuine and honest, because genuine and honest people are the ones that succeed in Fringe, not the jerks. Everyone knows the rule of Fringe? Anyone? Don't be a jerk, or no jerks allowed. That one is good. Don't be a jerk. Be genuine, be nice. Everyone knows you're marketing your show. No one's going to hold it against you. Just be genuine and nice about it, right? And also show genuine interest in them and their show. Like genuine interest in them and their show. Go see their show, Like talk to them after their show, right? Like find things about the show that you think are positive and talk about those. Maybe not so much the other stuff. Like find the stuff that you liked and talk about it. And we all in theater, we know what this is code for. Oh yeah, congratulations. You might as well say, your show is garbage. Like, yeah, so it's up to you if you want to use the congratulations line. That's a funny theater thing. But in any case, okay. So we talked about basically everything I want to talk about networking. So yeah, be a part of the community. Hang out at Fringe Central. Leverage an existing base. Talk to people at shows. Go see other people's shows. Leverage events like office hours. And by the way, for those of you who haven't been to office hours yet and you want to know what the schedule is, go to hollywoodfringe.org/office hours, one word. And there's a schedule there of all the office hours. It's every Wednesday from now until basically opening at a different bar every week. There's a couple of repeaters, but every week it's different. And show up. It's a lot of fun. You meet a lot of people that are weird, but weird the way you're weird, right? So show up, enjoy, have a good time. They're so much fun. Okay, let's talk really quickly. We're almost to the end, and we're gonna do QA about social networking. We talked about this, HFF18, hashtag HFF18, Instagram, Twitter, Facebook too. This is a way to start creating your communities and to not just for your show, but to sort of spread the word about other shows, which as we talked about, is sort of the whole point. It's how we succeed. We succeed by acting as a broad community. We don't succeed alone, we succeed together. That's how it works, and that's how the most successful shows have played it. Join our Twitter chats. If you go to hollywoodfringe.org, there should be, like on that slideshow, a link that says more information on Twitter chats. Join them. They're a lot of fun. Another great way to create impression and to meet new people online, especially for those of you not residents of LA. This is a great opportunity for you to start your brand early. So if you're from a different state or country, these things are very important for you guys. Back in the 2010 when we started, I'd be like, Facebook allows you to create a Facebook page. Yeah, create a Facebook page. Go nuts. I'd also say, consider a show blog to go over. Like, does everyone know what a blog is? So yes, another idea is to create a show blog and to go through and sort of recount your journey. It's another cool thing that some shows do. Tumblr, blog, your choice. So yeah, be social networking. It is obvious, free networking. You have now with Instagram and Twitter and Facebook all allow you to provide sponsored content to boost your post, to create an ad, to boost your ad. Absolutely. Like back in the day, we had a lot of success with Facebook boosted posts, right? It was like kaboom, it was huge. Not so much anymore. They keep modifying their algorithm to make it less and less and less effective, and at the same time, it's strangely more expensive. So you pay more for less. Facebook.com. It is, however, whenever we post anything. So we have a Facebook page. We have 10,000 plus people liking our Facebook page, and the way the Facebook feed algorithm works these days, if you post, you might as well just open up your window and yell it out the window. About as many people are gonna see it, right? Because of all of us who go to Facebook pages all the time proactively to check them out, not many of us. So we don't put anything on our Facebook page without boosting it a little. And boost could be cents to dollars. Like we usually put about $8 to $15 behind every post, depending on how large it is, and that affects how many people it hits. So yeah, I would say if you want a real successful Facebook page strategy, then you gotta throw money behind every post, or people just aren't going to see it, right? There's also this thing called Facebook ads, and those ads can appear on Instagram and in the mobile app. It's a hugely, strangely enough, elaborate system Facebook puts behind their ad framework. It's like they spend a lot of time on it because like they make a lot of money off ads almost. So like consider that as well. I mean, like Instagram has just recently rolled out a pretty popular. I'm not a big Instagram guy. I'm sure many of you in the audience are. You probably see ads now. You're like, what the hell? Reddit just launched a pretty cool ad system as well. So think about that as different ways to reach people. Almost all of these things are going to cost money, so make sure that they're in line with your budget. If you want to learn more about budgets, go to the previous town hall. I give you like my little 7th grade math budget rundown. So it's all on youtube.com/Hollywood Fringe. Check out Town Hall 1 when I start talking about math. It's right around there to help you put together that budget together. It's not altogether that daunting. Okay, and the last thing I'm going to say before we get to the Q&A, I might want to sit down. It's about volunteers and interns. Volunteers specifically for now. We're a huge volunteer organization, and our favorite volunteers are also our participants. So if you would like to help the Fringe and spread the word, and it's really fun, you get a T-shirt. I don't know. So I volunteered for the Fringe, and all I got was this damn T-shirt. Consider volunteering with us. You might have met our wonderful volunteer coordinator. She's one of the ones who checked you in today, Stina Peterson. She's absolutely wonderful. That's our volunteer director. Also runs our front of house at Fringe Central. You can volunteer by going to hollywoodfringe.org/volunteer, and that'll take you to our volunteer form. Or you can just send Stina a direct email, Stina, S-T-I-N-A, N as in Nancy, A, at hollywoodfringe.org, and she'll give you more information. Another great thing about volunteering is that you qualify for comp tickets. And for you guys out there who have shows, if you want to provide Fringe volunteers comp tickets, which is a really wonderful way to do a good thing and to put butts in seats, just email us at support@hollywoodfringe.org and say, I would like to provide some tickets, some discounts or some tickets to volunteers, and we'll walk you through how to make that happen. So there we go. That is the end of that. So now we begin the new exciting, we begin the exciting Q&A. Who's gonna stump me? Okay, so it's just like, third grade. Raise your hand, and then come to your feet proudly and say your name and the name of your show, which is, it's advertising. The name and the name of your show, and proudly and clearly ask your question. So yeah, and I'll rock and roll around. So who's got a question? Starting at the front row.
Hello. The Foxhole Stories, Twistful Smoke, Run Motherfucker Run.
It's your hook. You're the motherfucker show.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was noticing on past years, the bar
Yeah.
did some kind of beer type of cocktail.
Sponsored drinks?
Yes.
Yes.
Yes. Is that still available?
It is still available. We haven't launched that system for applicants yet, but to give you an idea of what he's talking about, one of the promotions we let you run, again, buffet promotions, one of the promotions we let you run is to sponsor a drink at the Fringe Central bar. And the way that works is on a given night, preferably a night in which you have a show, a performance, we put up a sign sort of describing, or you can bring a sign describing what your drink is. You let our bartenders know what the main liquor should be. What we don't do anymore is, it used to be, give us the recipe for your drink. And we got the most disgusting drinks imaginable. So we don't do that anymore. We just say, give us sort of a feeling for what you want your drink to be. It's it's orangey with sort of vodka sort of thing. And we have mixologists on staff that can take it from there for you. Look for information on that. We'll be blasting it out to you guys when applications for sponsored drinks are available. You need to provide $100, and then we take care of everything else. And $100 goes to the general fund we use for advertising and operations, etc. So yes, that is an idea. Thanks for bringing that up. We'll let you know all about sponsored drinks shortly, and that's another opportunity to promote your show. All right. Yes, over here.
Hi, I'm Glenn Josie. I'm doing Face Divided. Real quick, you had mentioned that we have the ability to turn off the digital impressions. Is there a way that we actually have a way of seeing how much is being deducted every single day?
Yeah.
Kind of way of tracking all that?
Yeah. Okay, so it's not Facebook. But we do have a way for you to see how many, and contact support to ask that question, and they'll say exactly where to look at it, but it's not altogether not obvious. It's on your My Ads page that shows you how many impressions you have left and how many clicks your ad has gotten. So that's out there. It's not Facebook level because we're not a public company. It's kind of rudimentary, but it gives you that information. It gives you the amount of impressions you've burned through, how many you have left, and how many clicks you've received. So it gives you that information. Hope that answers your question. Great. Anyone else over here?
Yeah, hey, Matt, I actually got 2 shows this year that I'm producing. One is called Katie and Jennifer. The other one's called All American Sex Addict Woke AF. My question, this might be my 4th Fringe.
Yep.
And each year I've bought ads in the Fringe Guide.
Yep.
I'm curious your opinion on how effective that is, because I've had incredibly mixed results. For example,
Sure.
the show I produced last year, my producing partner absolutely refused to put the money into the Fringe ad guide.
Yep.
Despite my advising her to do so.
Yep.
And we drew better than any of my other shows.
Yep.
Just simply through her effective use of social media, which
That's
I
great.
really think she's better at it. But-
Right.
So I'm just curious what your.
Sure. I mean, and ultimately, like, we want you to respect your budget. That's number one. And you want you to respect your marketing plan, right? And it really depends. Like, I've had a lot of people say that, like, I pick up the guide every year and I flip through and I look at the pictures and I determine which one I want to go to. That being said, maybe a social media campaign specifically would be more in line with your budget and will be more effective. Like, it's all comes down to what I was talking about, the sort of the 7 impressions before a sale, right? So it's like, oh, I saw their guide ad. Oh, I saw them on Twitter. Oh, I saw their online ad. Oh, I saw them on like a Footlights in the part of their partnership. Like, I'm seeing them all over the place. I've seen them 7 times. Maybe I should go see this show. Something psychologically inside of me is driving me to see this show. So it's like, if you've got beautiful art, and that beautiful art, it's something you want to show off, and you feel that that beautiful art is a hook into your show, then absolutely. But it's just one part of a much broader marketing strategy. So it's like our ads start at $125, right, for participants, which is, in the grand scheme of things, ask anybody else who produces booklet, it's a ridiculously small amount of money. Like, you want to put an ad in some of our partners' booklets, like for Discover Hollywood, it's going to cost you hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of dollars. Like, we try to make it small, right? So it's entirely your choice. Again, buffet of options, right? But if you want your beautiful art to be included in the Fringe Guide, which a lot of people use and they pour through on a year-by-year basis, and you have got great art, I'm not going to tell you to do one thing or the other. If you have the budget for it, starting at $125 or whatever it is, then I would say, yeah, that's an effective use of your budget. But if you have no marketing budget, or if you feel that you've got a giant social following, then by all means, use your free social following as your principal way of doing it. So it's entirely up to you. What I would suggest is going through the participant packet when it comes out the next week or so, look at all your options, then go through that exercise of creating Joe and Marty and Susie and whatnot, and where they want to go and where they would read. Now put it all together, sort of start with a broad list, right? And then start to chisel it down. Keep the free stuff, look at the paid stuff, start to chisel that down so that you have it down to what your budget is, and then pull the trigger, right? So yeah, it really is up to you. Yes?
So kind of piggybacking off his question, how many, I assume if I say a quarter-page ad, it appears once in the guide,
Yep.
and you guys decide where it goes, or does it go on the same page as your little blurb?
That's a really good question. We do our best to put it as close to your listing as humanly possible. And if not in your listing, at least in the category of your listing. Sometimes it doesn't work out because you'll have 5 people, buy an ad that all exist on the same page, and based on the laws of physics, you can't jam them all in there. But we do the best job we can to put it as close to your text listing as possible. Yep. Let's start right here.
Hi, I'm Kat Balzon, and I have a one-woman show called Balzon.
That's a 2-sided flyer, guys.
Name so I can write something, an address or something. So I remember that there is an international and an old woman category or award.
An old woman category.
No, not old woman, old woman.
Oh, wait, what?
And just old woman.
Oh, all women.
Yes.
Got it. Yes, okay. Thank you. Yes.
It's like a one-woman show, and I'm French.
Right.
Can I apply for these, and how do I reach those people?
I knew it. It only took 4 questions before someone asked about awards. No good, though. That's good. That's good. Yes, okay, so let's talk a little bit about awards. I'm going to talk a lot more about awards at the next town hall. But there are 2 types of awards at the Fringe. There are we call them the Freaks, which are the community awards, which are the Fringe Community Awards. And those awards, everyone on the last day of Fringe, everyone gets a ballot, and on the ballot is every show broken out by category. There's a best world premiere, best international show, and a top of the Fringe, right? And they're all there, and you can choose your favorite out of every category. And this is all for the community. So if you have a show, you have a venue, you've seen so many shows, you've reviewed so many shows, then you get a ballot. And that's how it works. It's the most perfect system and an incredibly imperfect array of options, right? of how to do this level of 400 shows of how to do balloting, right? And then 2 hours before the award ceremony, we release the nominees, which are basically the top 4 to 5 in every category, right? And we make sure, so they know they should probably come to the award ceremony, right? And then scattered throughout the award ceremony, we provide little statuettes to everyone so that they can accept their awards, etc. In addition to the community awards, there are the sponsored awards. Now the sponsored awards, applications for the sponsored awards will probably be going up in the next month or so. The sponsored awards are third-party organizations. So you were talking about the all-female award. I imagine you're talking about the Los Angeles Female Playwrights Initiative, the LFPI award, or something along those lines. There are a bunch of others as well. They generally change every year. What we'll do for you guys, we'll give you one page on the Fringe site that will be like, here are all the sponsored awards. Everyone who's applied and has been accepted and is the sponsored awards. It will give you information on the name of the award, who's providing it, information on it, how many shows they plan to see, what category of shows they're looking to give awards to, and how to contact them. At that point, you can contact them and say, I would love for you to come see my show. It's just about exactly what seems like you want to see based on the award description. So we'll make all that available to you. It'll be a May thing. It's a May thing. As we're leading up, so you can start to drum up. So I hope that answers your question. That's how the awards work. And then next time I'll go through awards in more detail. Yes? Yeah. Yeah, no problem. Actually, it's one of the things I didn't mention. So I'm glad somebody asked. So it's like, hey, everybody knows this already. Here we go. So in your listing, you have title of your show. Okay. Make sure you have that decided by the 15th of this month. Title, prices, description, and that's a blur. 300 characters?
300 characters.
300 characters. Now, a character is not a word. A character is a letter, a space, an apostrophe. Huh? A carriage return. These are characters, right? So you get 300 characters, and you can go into your edit project page and you can edit these things. Okay, so title, price, description, dates, venue / space. So one venue has multiple spaces. In this case, one venue has one space. But if you go to, say, the complex, there are multiple spaces within that venue. Okay, duration. Be accurate. Trust me. I said this at the last time, but with your duration, don't lowball it, because people will walk out. People at Fringe see show, next hour, show, next hour, show, next hour, show. If your show goes longer than you said it did in the guide listing and the website, you might have people saying, screw this noise, and walk out. I got another show to go to. And they will be mad. So make sure your durations are accurate. Okay, duration. Flags, and by flags you have things like includes nudity, family friendly, hint, don't check both. Uses flashing lights, stuff like that, important stuff. So those are the little check boxes. We include that in the guide. Age requirements. Don't say family friendly and make it 21 plus. These are obvious things, okay? But like the basic, like youngest age that might enjoy your show, and be honest. I have a 4-year-old, and my 4-year-old is some huge violent Quentin Tarantino thing. I'm gonna be pissed off. So that's what it includes. Title, prices, description, dates, venue, space, duration, flags, age requirements. Does not include an image. If you want to include an image, in the gut, then that's what the Fringe ads are for, and that's what's due on April 15th. Cool? You're welcome. Who else? Yes.
Hi, my name is Steve Chang, and my show is called Keep Wasting Time. I want to know what you think about my networking strategy. So this is open to everyone, right? If you come see my show, I will give your show a 5-star review. You get a 5-star review. You get a 5-star review. You get a 5-star review. Everyone gets a 5-star review.
All right, I will give you my thoughts on that. First of all, good thinking, was great. I think everyone will remember you as the 5-star review guy if you had a hook. So good stuff. Please don't do that. And here's why. I mean, reviews, it's already a positive shit show of reviews on the Fringe site, because everyone loves one another and no one wants to hurt everyone's feelings because people are nice and people don't know who they're going to be in a casting session with next week, right? So it's already a problem. It's one of the reasons we provide anonymous reviews at the Hollywood Fringe Festival. If you want to be honest, and what is honesty? Honesty is not this guy sucks and everyone sucks and don't see this show or your whole life will be ruined. It's not that. Honesty is like, here's what worked for me and here's what didn't, right? Reviews are not meant to be something that you use as currency. Reviews are meant to be something that helps patrons select the shows they want to see. So, I mean, if you really have a problem giving honest negative reviews, don't give reviews, right? If you really love the show, genuinely, give a positive review. If you didn't love the show or you had problems with it, be honest. You're helping people in a 400 show festival try to find the show they don't. As soon as it's a good idea, but as soon as we cheapen this and people start doing this whole I'll give you a 5-star review, 5-star review, it cheapens everything and people will just not read reviews, which hurts everybody. So reviews are meant to be honest. So good thoughts. Just put that one away and think of your next one.
We don't have stars.
Yeah, and we don't have stars. So there's that one big problem with it. It's like, we don't actually have stars. Well, I admire your creativity. Keep thinking creatively, like it's smart. Just not that one. Yes, next.
Hello, thank you, Ben.
You're welcome.
My name is Kelly Mullis, and I'm doing a one-woman show called Marilyn Monroe: The Last Interview. Very excited. My question is Gold Star.
Yes.
Are we allowed to post on there, and can we sell tickets via Gold Star to have that event?
Great question. Great question. Yes, Gold Star, Today Ticks. You're absolutely right. You can sell them anywhere else. But here's the caveat. You need to make HollywoodFringe.org a place to buy tickets for all shows, which we want. You need to sell at least 50% of any given performance's tickets on the website. Because it's you can go in and actually say, if you go into your admin section on your project, you see all your performances there, you can specify how many tickets you want to put on sale. So let's say you're in a house that has a capacity of 100 to make things easier. That means that you can sell 50 of those tickets for that performance somewhere else. Gold Star, Today Ticks, somewhere else, right? You need to sell at least 50 on the site, which is easy. The site literally won't let you reduce the amount of ticket sales. So yes, what you can do is, let's say you wanted to sell 25 tickets on Gold Star and 25 tickets on Today Ticks, right? Then you would go into that performance and you would say, number of tickets on sale. This is a 100-seat capacity house. That's smaller than this one. And you would say 50. And then you would go on Today Ticks and say, put 25 on sale here. You would go to Gold Star and put 25 on sale there. So absolutely, you can do that. It's a great strategy. You're just slightly limited into what you can do. Does that answer your question?
Yes. Why slightly limited?
Slightly limited because you need to sell at least half of your tickets for a given performance on the Hollywood Fringe website. Great.
Thank you.
You're very welcome. Yes, right behind it. We'll get everybody. Don't worry.
My name is Oren. The show is called Rebel with a Voice, Lady Heart. It's a musical dramedy, got some white characters. Big cast, very cool people. Come check it out. My question was about press release. I know there's a service that helps you for 150, I think. They can do 300 people on your list. Can you talk about that? Because you said there's also a way you can do it on your phone.
Yeah, I mean, you're talking about a service that you like give them their press release and they blast it out to all sorts of press for you?
I think I got an email from Fringe.
From Fringe, probably not from Fringe, but you might have got emails. Anybody know a service like that?
That's the one that Matt Quinn does.
Yes, we,
Oh.
Asylum does one, that we offer 150 for 300. There's several others. It's just a standard email blast. Fair just sends it out. About 300 people, various websites, that's it.
Great.
And it's pretty effective.
That's great. Yeah. So talk to Matt about that.
If you're interested in that, and still taking clients, I've got her cards, come check it out. It's a great way to get a blast. But like Ben says too, the follow up on yourself, sending out those emails, it's just one of many things that you need to do. So thank you for the plug.
Yeah. So yeah, talk to Matt over here. Matt, you want to stand up and wave your hand so people know what you look like?
Hey everybody.
So great. We're going to go all the way to the back this time. Oh, there's two people, so choose. Fight amongst yourselves. Or you're the same. Okay.
We have spiritual ecstasy where Indiana Jones and Crystal Skull meet. I'm a Grammy-nominated song-free, transformative photographer and a medical guru. This is an amazing energetic healer, and we travel the world and we take healings all over.
That's great.
Our question is, if we take out a $500 ad in the guide, do we get to choose what page we're going to be on, or is it
No. What we do try to do is to put your ad as close as possible to the listing. Now, there is a service that we provide every year called the premium ad auction. So if you think like there's the back cover, the inside front cover, the centerfold, like sort of the big spots. We actually technically don't have a centerfold anymore because we've changed the way we print it. So the back cover, the inside front cover. And to be democratic about it, if they're available and not taken by sponsors, we actually have an auction for that. So the only, and they cost a little more, there's a bigger minimum because they're like the big places to be. So if we do have spots available for premium guide auction, we'll blast everyone, let them know. Obviously, you need a full page ad to qualify for those spots, right? Otherwise, if you take out like a quarter page ad or a full page ad or a half page ad, we try to put it as close as humanly possible to where your textual listing is.
And I'll add this. You guys can go at any time to HollywoodFringe.org/guide and currently see last year's guide until this year's guide is posted, so you can see how we lay out the ads. And that most years there are more listings, there are not enough listings to accommodate all of the ads being within listings. But we do everything in our power to lay it out attractively and intermingle it with the text. So, yeah, you can check out how it looks.
Hey, check,
I had a question, but she stuck one in there. So my question was, in the music business, we do electronic press kits. When you're talking about handing them paper, are they really going to be carrying that around as opposed to give them like a card or something, and they go to a website where you have the electronic press kit?
You could do either or both. I mean,
Is there a benefit to handing them something?
it gives them something to read before and after the show. and to take home. So when they're at home and they're putting together articles, like you have different type of press people. Some press are more digital, some are still a little analog, right? So you can do either or both. The benefit of doing a physical press kit is while they're waiting, and press people are generally lonely types, and they're sitting like by themselves in a seat in the theater, it's something for them to flip through, to learn more about it. It might give them some ideas on how they want to present your show in article format, review format, what have you. So that's why.
Well, we might have the money for that, so
Oh, there you go. Great, thank you. Yes. Yes, that's you.
Hi, I'm Cassandra Garden. I'm actually producing 2 shows this year too. One is Circus of Love, it's a dance show here at the performance, and then the other one is Parents in Joy. It's actually about a teen struggling with gender identity. My question is are you guys, last year there was an involvement with One City, One Pride.
Yes.
I didn't see anything on the site about that, about
Alas.
themes and if we're invited to perform at other spaces like Silver Theater. I can't find anything on the site.
And there's a reason for that, because not because we have any problem with One City anymore, but we just don't partner with them anymore. The way that worked is that the City of West Hollywood had a grant every year, and like they provided us with the grant money, then we did a partnership. And this year they had some financial restrictions, and we didn't get the grant, so we don't have the partnership this year.
Okay.
But that doesn't keep you from reaching out to
Yeah,
One City.
that's what I was gonna say, because I've already reached out to them. It was a little funny, like, like our email exchange was funny, and now I know why.
Ah, yes, okay, fair enough.
Totally makes sense.
That's why.
Nice to see you, by the way.
Over here, yes.
Hi, I'm Gary Herschel, and I'm here for Karen Cassidy's Fresh Meat. My question is, come to our play and you'll get some fresh meat. The question is, if you should be so lucky as to get one of the press like Los Angeles Weekly or the Jewish Journal or something that is printed weekly to cover beforehand so that it also helps selling your play. In addition to the information we have and the information that's available on the website, is there anybody in particular that we should refer them to at the Fringe Festival they find important information about?
Press@hollywoodfringe.org is probably their best bet. That's our press office. So I would say, yeah, press@hollywoodfringe.org would be the place for them. Great question. Thank you. Thank you very much. Yeah, and if you're working a periodical that wants to know more information about the Fringe in general, press@hollywoodfringe.org, and you're just doing everyone a favor. So yes, sir.
Yeah, just a quick question. Sponsor awards.
Yep.
Is there? I've had trouble finding them in the past. Is there going to be a page on the website?
Yep. Oh yeah. There'll be a page to apply and a page to learn about them. They're just not active yet, so that's why I don't see them quite yet. So yeah, let's go over here. I'll get you next. You're next. Over here. There we go.
I'm Jim. I'm the Beta, I'm the writer producer of Skin Jobs. It's about whitewashing casting in superhero and genre movies. So I'd much rather you think Scarlett Johansson and Ghost in the Shell when you think Skin Jobs and me. My question is about the cards and the posters and all that. Is there an actual kind of like drop dead date that they have to be delivered to your venue? My venue is the Broadwater.
Oh yes, fantastic. The answer is no. There is a start date for Fringe Central where you can drop them off, and we'll let everyone know when that is. But it's really a question of when it's available and talking to your venue. There's actually one thing, guys, that I did not mention about the flyers that's important. Okay. I'm glad that you actually reminded me because this is important. If you want to drop your flyer at Fringe Central, you do. If you want to drop a flyer at Fringe Central, then you must have the Hollywood Fringe logo on it somewhere. You may download the Hollywood Fringe logo at hollywoodfringe.org/branding, BRANDING. And on there you'll see various different file formats. If you're working with a graphic designer, they probably want EPS. It gives them the most flexibility to place it on your flyer. Now, why do we do this? We do not do this to be assholes because we like the sight of our own logo, even though we kind of do. We do this because we have 400 shows, and we have people working at Fringe Central that need to clean up every night. And we don't allow non-Fringe shows to advertise at Fringe Central. It kind of makes sense. The only way we're going to easily know without going through a guide and figure, oh yeah, that show, is if you have the Hollywood Fringe logo on it. If you've already produced a ton of flyers and you do not have the Hollywood Fringe logo on it, contact support@hollywoodfringe.org. We'll try to help you.
Real quick on that, did you say, is there a specific area on the ad that the logo has to be?
Nope, just somewhere on the flyer. Yeah, somewhere like visible on the flyer, not like behind a bush. What?
It does not have to be big either.
It does not have to be big. It just needs to be there somewhere. You're welcome. Yes. Hello.
I'm Karen Cassidy, and I'm the writer producer of Fresh Food, and that's a gallery of animals and birds. So, anyway, now my question is for the
Yep.
It's like, I mean, and I only want to do it for like, the preview show.
Yep.
So like, I think I did it right on the, can I talk about how you do that?
Yeah, so we're going to talk about a lot.
You know, because there's a code that's on my postcards, and also there's a little thing that says, you know, QY, whatever it is, pay what you can.
Yep.
Abbreviation next to June 3rd, but it's like, I don't know how to code it. Say, on your discount code.
Sure. So we're going to talk a lot about ticketing at the next town hall, but like what she's talking about is marking shows as pay what you can, which is a great strategy. You can mark your show as pay what you can. You can mark your participant price only as pay what you can. You can mark some performances pay what you can and other performances not pay what you can. And you can create a discount code that provides you with pay what you can. And for those of you who don't know what pay what you can is, it basically means you have no fixed price. You have a suggested price. But ultimately people can pay what they want, either online or at the door. And that's what pay what you can is. So what I would say is on the pay what you can, and once you've added it, you've checked that box, go to your guide listing and make sure it's still, it's stuck, basically. So your guide listing is in your admin, in your project, there's a menu, and it says like details, press, and then you go to admin, and that's where all your performance information is. And then you go to guide listing, and just make sure that if you mark the pay what you can, that's what people are going to see in the guide, right? There's a great article I guide you to. It's support.hollywoodfringe.org. There is an article in there called All About Ticketing. And that gives you a rundown of how to set your pricing, amongst other things, how to add discount codes. It's a great place to read. So I'd say read through that. It's at support.hollywoodfringe.org. There's an article called All About Ticketing, and it's in the participant section. And that'll give you a lot of information on discount codes, on setting prices, on selling tickets in general. So I'd say read through those. You still have questions, contact support@hollywoodfringe.org.
And I think the specific thing that you're reacting to is for pay what you can, you then have a suggested donation that you can put in for it. So once you check that box, you can still enter a price, but that's your suggested donation. You can pay whatever they want.
It's like by default, that will be the price, and they can change it if they want. It's like that. Okay, guys, guess what? We are at 10 minutes-ish, so this is the world-famous lightning round. Everyone who has their hands up right now. Okay, we'll get answered. Keep your hands up. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. No. 4? Did I not call anybody? 4 more questions. And this is when you ask your question really fast and I answer it really fast so we can all get out of here on time. So there's a 1 over here.
Hi, I'm with Keeping Up with the Pros or Offs, which is check out Three Sisters meets the Kardashians. We need to put the Hollywood Fringe logo on our poster if we want the poster to be at the Fringe Center.
No. Because, you'll have to check in with us anyway and say, hey, I have a poster, can I hang it up? And we'll be like, what's your show? And I'm like, hey, you're fine. No need to worry about it. Yeah. Good. Good lightning question. 2.
Foxhole Stories, Christopher's book, Run Motherfucker Run. Is there a guideline when it comes to age restrictions? Like if you cover this type of content, that type of age should be recommended not to come?
The guideline is common sense. If you have like serious drug use and violence, I would say use your basic rated R type of level, so like 18 and plus. If it is for, if you really think that a 2-year-old would enjoy it, it's like 2 plus. If it's like PG-13, they make it 13 plus. We had one show called Life in the Middle Ages, like a bunch of years ago, and it was 35 plus. Like, they literally card you at the door. My wife, the communications director for the Hollywood Fringe, who at the time I believe was like 30, was not let into this show. I was like, really? Okay. So use your best judgment, I would say, and I think the general pain in the ass movie system is probably your best guide. Number 3. Yes.
My name is Jared, and I play Blue Man Up, pretty tricky, absurd play that takes place in the graveyard where everybody may or may not be dead. But my question is about paid reviewers, worth it or not worth it?
Okay, you're talking about the old, like, you paid for reviewers to come? We did that. We had a partner who did that one year, several years ago. It was quite a controversial offering. That partner has since stopped doing it. So no, there might be some service out there that does it, but there's no current Fringe promotional partner service that does it now. So yeah, it was very controversial. It was interesting. A lot of people did it, got reviews. Some of them actually weren't just good reviews. So it's like, but at the same time, there was controversy, and so they ended up dropping that service. We had number 4. It was up here.
Hi, my name is Royce. My show is The Color Collective. Best way to describe it is Saturday Night Live. You get the entire cast. It's all basically every single race. My question is, what if your show kind of fits 2 different categories?
Yeah.
So I guess mine would kind of be comedy, but then also variety because there's stand-up, there's dance, there's music.
Right.
So can you be listed as 2 different categories, or just pick one of those?
Right. So because categories define 2 major things. They define what section you are in the guide, and you can't be in 2 sections, so you need to decide one category. And categories define what category of award you qualify for in the community awards, not the sponsored awards, in the community awards, right? So you can't be in multiple categories. Now, you can't have multiple tags, and that's like adjectives. So if you see your show page, bottom left corner on the desktop version, not the mobile version, the desktop version, you see a bunch of words to describe it called tags. You can have multiple tags. So you could say it's a variety show, cabaret and variety, but it's also under tags, comedy, funny, laugh out loud, diversity. You can put that all there, right? So I would say, because you have to, choose one category and then use tags to sort of round out the sort of the descriptors, the adjectives of the show. I also say that a lot of people like to strategize around categories. Like traditionally, the biggest categories are solo show, comedy, ensemble theater. You think about that from a awards perspective, right? Some people, there's going to be the most people in there. The crowd is, the most people in the field will be in that category. At the same time, winning Best in Ensemble Theater at the Hollywood Fringe is about as high level as you can get. Winning Best Solo Theater in Hollywood Fringe, there's a certain amount of gravitas that comes with that, right? But there are other shows our newest category is immersive theater that is currently one of the smaller categories. There's going to be fewer people to select. That being said, and I know this because I know a lot of immersive theater people, is if you're not immersive theater and you're in the immersive theater category, you're going to piss them off. So don't just choose a category because it has the smallest amount of people, right? Like the smallest amount of projects, smallest amount of shows, okay? So think about that. So you have to choose one category, and it's, the comedy is a category, and a lot of shows are funny, but you sort of have to think is it really about, is it a comedy? Is it about laughing and a comedy and or is it more of an ensemble theater as most of us sort of imagine ensemble theater? So we do make you choose for those reasons, but you can use tags to round them up. Okay, guys, that's the town hall. After this, we have a mixture at 3 clubs at Santa Monica and Vine. Hope to see you there. Thanks, everybody.